Okay, it is time to get this frame rolling. I mean literally rolling on the ground so we can get it off the lift and get the other cab back in. So I'm pretty sure I have all the parts. So I've got an array of parts here, basically from every single manufacturer, far and wide, local and non. Try to do that, try to plan ahead all the time. It doesn't always work out as planned. There's been a couple of hiccups and bumps along the way, as you've seen. Ew! Ew! But only thing left to do now is get it assembled, get it down, swap it out. Well, folks, I got kicked out. No, it's not really true. We just needed to use that lift, so I had to vacate the premises and move it over here. Nothing's changed other than location. Still need to finish up the front suspension. So we have the entire front end assembled, all the suspension, all the steering, minus the gearbox, which is coming off the donor vehicle. But the whole front end is all set and ready to put tires on, bearings, the whole deal. So now I can finally move to the rear, get that on and assembled so the frame can actually sit and roll on its own. We'll see how long it takes me to get the rear end assembled in this thing before I get into it. See what I'm talking about?
Fire! 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 Fire!
The frame is officially rolling. It is a rolling chassis. Sprung under its own weight and not on a lift. All the suspension is in, still pretty loose. Decided not to do the notch just yet. We're actually gonna transplant the drivetrain, make sure that the drive shaft, angle, length, everything looks perfect. We don't have to degree, shim, move back or forth because the pins on the bottom are offset. So just wanna make sure everything is exactly where it's gotta be before I cut and weld the frame. So that's what we're gonna do now. We're gonna get the cab off the other frame, swap the drivetrain, and continue. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, it looks pretty sketchy. We have a ratchet strap going through the cab to hold the back down because we're gonna have so much front ballast because I don't wanna pull the entire nose off. So let's see how this goes. Hopefully it doesn't just tip and crash. Well, something broke free. Well, there we have it, folks. We have a body off of a frame. Now, I wouldn't go pitching a tent and sleeping underneath this, but it's pretty secure. So, assuming that that ratchet strap does its job, and this little hero stays attached, we'll be good. So now, with all this unlimited access, I can pull the engine and transmission as an assembly, super easy, drop the gas tank down. Now I can transfer all this stuff onto the other frame with nothing in my way. And I got the engine out. So engine and transmission assembly are completely out of the frame. All right, the new frame is in the shop. What I'm gonna concentrate on right now is trying to clean up and transfer all the parts onto the engine. For instance, we're gonna like tune it up. It was definitely time for it. We had rust in number 6 plug wire, bunch of corrosion inside the cap. Biggest thing is though, we got champions in there, and these plugs I only run in 2 things: lawnmowers and compressor products. So we just put AC Delco, OE, and all this. So now I'm gonna fire on a belt. We're gonna get this Y pipe off and change that, get some oxygen sensors in it, and it's ready to drop this thing down and in. Well, folks, we are one step closer because the engine is in. We have an official rolling chassis. Well, I guess we're missing a drive shaft, so it's not quite official yet. The drive shaft is in. Well, sort of. Because we've lowered it, which has actually caused the drive line to go straighter and get shorter, now it pushes the drive shaft too far into the transmission, so the seal rides right about here, which is not good because it's on this rusty stuff. So I'm gonna try to buff this down and clean it all up, and hopefully we can get it to be nice and smooth and it won't leak fluid. Which we won't find out for a while until we put everything together and start driving it. So I'll probably forget about it by that point and wonder where I'm leaking fluid from. I just got done polishing my shaft. You wanna see it? Man, what have I told you about this being a family-friendly channel? You can't be doing stuff like that, semi-pornographic. The drive shaft, of course. Sickos. For the time being, shaft goes in onto metalwork. Well, it took me a while, but I'm finally done grinding. Oh, wait. Is that better? Yeah, so I don't think I can feel my hands anymore. They're all tingly and numb. Let's see how well I do with cutting out cab mounts with the plasma torch when I can't feel my hands. Okay, I think I am finally ready for paint. What I was waiting for is I had to repair this bracket that holds the gas tank in. Need a little bit of metal work on the inside. Before you say anything, yes, I looked. They don't make these anymore. Checked a bunch of junkyards. They were just as bad as the ones that I had. So I had to salvage the better of the two. This was definitely the worst one. Also had to run a new brake line for the rear brakes. It was nice and easy with the gas tank being out. And I had to relocate this bracket to hold it up. And finally, we got the gas tank over here all sanded and prepped. So what I'm gonna do is throw a coat of paint on all this stuff. I'm gonna let it dry for the weekend, come back in on Monday, reassemble everything, and then maybe this can go back down onto this. I don't know if I'm anywhere close in there, but I just want the cab back on the frame. Oh my God, will this truck actually become one again? Will the 3 pieces become 2? Will the 2 pieces become 1?
By your powers combined, I am...
Stay tuned!